Oh, we're live. Justin never played any sound music to tell us we're live, but we're live, pal. This is Fantasy Now Plus. We're here to talk about the Dynasty Tight End Rankings. Last week we did the Dynasty wide receivers, of course, so go check that out. Justin was not here for that episode, but guess what? He's back. He's excited to talk tight ends. He loves tight ends. We all love tight ends on this show. So without further ado, let's get on into the show.
You're watching the Fantasy Recap, only on FantasyNow Plus.
You know, one day we're going to get this intro right. And I will say this before we get into the Dynasty tight ends. I have to say this every single time we go live, whether it be my wrestling show on Thursday night, whether it be my other wrestling show on Saturday night, whether it be this show on Monday, I let the entire family know I'm going live at X time. As soon as that live button hits, this door opens every single time. And it just happened again. Like, I cannot make this up. I cannot. But it happened. And here we are. So, you know, it's just the gimmick of the show these days. I have to do a show with a wide open door now instead of a closed door because they don't know how to shut the door after themselves. But it is what it is.
And they can't hear you talking
Justin
about them, apparently.
Oh, I hope they can. I hope they can.
My dogs just let me sit on my feet, and they don't bother me.
Yeah. Well, must be nice. But here, you know what bugs me? You wanna hear what bugs me is tight ends, especially in the dynasty format. One of us is also frozen. Can't tell who. It must be me because it's raining, it's stormy, and it's going to be raining all day long here in Tampa. So if I go out, I apologize for that. It is literally a rainstorm here. But we are going to be talking dynasty tight ends. You go to our fantasy football page, of course, Fantasy Now Plus. You could check out all of our rankings there. We have boom right on here on the home screen right here in front of us. All of our rankings. 1 through 1 million. Of course, we ranked all 1 million players in the NFL, including specifically tight ends, which we're going to touch on today. There is some controversy at the top. There's only one man on an island, just like last week where I was the only person that had Justin Jefferson won.
Whoa.
I'm the only person.
Whoa. Oh, well, Justin Jefferson won. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I changed it. There were some errors and redactions. Justin did not have Jamar Chase ranked number 1 at Dynasty tight end or a wide receiver.
I had to make that known today before we started because Josh was definitely wrong on that. I did not have Jamar Chase at 1.
It's okay. I'm wrong sometimes. Yeah. Not often, but sometimes. But this time I do have a difference, and I am the only one on this island. And I don't know why, but we'll get right into it. Brock Bowers is our dynasty tight end number 1. That's plain and simple, pretty easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We all have Trey McBride 2, except for me, I have him at 1. Now, Josh, why would you have Brock Bowers at number 2? Why? Guys, it's picking nits here. To me, this is just I like Trey McBride more. I watched him at the Senior Bowl the only time I ever went, and I said, this is my favorite player in the Senior Bowl. I drafted him in the 3rd round in every single dynasty league I ever had, and he's on my team. So that's why I'm ranking 1. It's bias. It's literally bias. And I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to say anything else differently. That's just the way it is. How do you feel about that, Justin? How do you feel about bias going into rankings?
Well, you know, I'm not a biased person. Nobody could ever say that about me when it comes to the players. I think I'm a very easy person when it comes to bias. Otherwise, I'd have Jamar Chase as my wide receiver 1, but I didn't. So, no, I mean, you do have Trey McBride at 1. We all have him at 2, like you said. I don't hate it. Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, they're 2 very young assets that are going to be very good for a very long time, hopefully. I just have Brock Bowers there because, like, who else is there? Like,
I know
who else is Geno Smith throwing the ball to? Like, for real. Jacoby Myers, like, no. Brock Bowers is like the Mark Andrews of the Oakland Raiders. I'm sorry, the Las Vegas Raiders. He is the only target. Like, who else is there gonna compete with him? Trey McBride at least has Marvin Harrison to compete with. So it's
no, but that might be a good thing for him. He has the stability of the quarterback position too with Kyler Murray. I know a lot of people don't like Kyler Murray. Fun fact about last season, Trey McBride averaged more fantasy points per game than Brock Bowers. That's just a fact of life. I mean, you can't make those numbers up. They're just there for you to see, for us to see, for everyone to see. So it's not as far away as you might think watching right now. If you might, here's what I truly think. People are looking at Brock Bowers is one a little bit younger, possibly don't know their ages to be completely honest with you, which I should know that. Is the show about Dynasty rankings, but Brock Bowers was drafted later. So therefore people are like, as in later on in the years, oh, he's younger, he must be better. That's not always the case, man. Dynasty isn't always about who's younger and who's this and who's that. Trey McBride and Kyler Murray just mesh. They're just two peas in a pod and they get together. We have a new quarterback situation over there in Oakland. I know. Oakland. I said Oakland too. You got me, Justin, in Las Vegas. We have a new quarterback situation over there in Las Vegas. Geno Smith is a very good quarterback. He can get the ball down the field. But let's see how they mesh. We already know what we have with Trey McBride. We already know that situation. Nothing much has changed since last year. A lot has changed for Brock Bowers. So we've seen rookie tight ends go from 1,000 yards before to nothing. His name is Kyle Pitts. His rookie season, he had 1,000 yards. We thought everything was great. The very next season, he had like 400 yards. It just happens. I'm not saying Brock's going to do that, but a change of scenery or a change of quarterback position or any kind of coaching staff can possibly be a downgrade for Brock Bowers. I'm not saying it will.
I mean, we've seen it. I mean, Dalton Kincaid had an okay year, then Dalton Kincaid has fallen off. Sam Laporta had a tight end one season his rookie year, then he fell off but we've also talked about Sam Laporta being a very touchdown dependent quarterback, whereas Brock Bowers is not. He gets all the targets, he gets all the receptions, he gets all the yardage. He didn't score a touchdown until double digit weeks last year. So, and still finishes tight end one. So it's the tight end position. I feel like every year it's what rookie is going to break out this year. And then it's like, okay, well now they're back to being a normal tight end in that 3 to 6 range for the elite ones, and then some just literally fall right off. So
I just feel like ever since Eric Ebron, or probably earlier than that, but I'm just trying to be fantasy relative. I don't want to go way back in the day, but every year it's like, this is the tight end that's going to break out. We've been saying it for Cole Kmet for years. We've been saying it for all these guys for years. And at the end of the day, this is why I hate tight ends. There's only about 2 to 3 that you can actually be very confident in, set and forget. And then there's all the rest of them are just a waste of our time. In dynasty formats specifically, let me repeat this. I do not value the tight end position. I just don't. I'd rather have those studs. Like, people are drafting Warren or Loveless in the first round. That's cool. Do what you got to do. But their hit rate is so low. I'm taking the wide receiver or the running back all day, every day. All day, literally every day. Because of the hit rate is so low, and these tight ends come in and they just 600 yards, all of them. So why am I wasting a first round draft pick? Like this Loveless guy or Tyler Warren, they could easily fall into this,
Loveland,
whatever his name is. I don't care his name. Whatever. It doesn't matter what your name is, because Cole Kmet's the starting tight end there, I hope. But according to a lot of my leagues, but I just don't want to invest my draft capital in what ifs, and they are the biggest what if position in the world by far. Where did Sano go? Sinat. So where did he go, or where's he playing?
He's ranked 35 on our rankings.
I mean, and here's why.
I think it's another one that, he was a big hype player his rookie season. He didn't really do anything. He's sitting behind Zach Ertz. And that offense isn't using the tight end position like a lot of the other teams. So it could. Where's Jelani Woods? He was supposed to be a big time tight end also coming out of college. So,
and there's a lot of guys like that. There's a lot of guys that come into the league and again, I don't want to take jabs at Cole Kmet, but he was a super hot name for so long. And he finally starts getting traction with Justin Fields, and then little bit last year. Then they drafted this Loveland guy. I said his name correctly. So again, what puts the confidence in me to waste a top 8 pick on another Bears tight end? I have zero confidence in that, so I'm not going to do it. Just let's get back to our rankings. Sam Laporta is the next on our list. He is, one of those guys who was the one last year. Like he was the one last year, but he didn't fall too far. He just went down to 3. Sam Laporta was a massive disappointment last year. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how he finished. I have people telling me that he was not a bust last year. Those people didn't roster Sam Laporta. I went through hell and back with Sam Laporta last year because I bought into him. And let me tell you something. It wasn't a good season at all. Do you know that 31.5% of his total points came in weeks 14 through 17? That's crazy. He was a tight end 16 going into your dynasty or your fantasy playoffs. The tight end 16 going into your fantasy playoffs, and then he finishes tight end 8. And then I have Dirtbag Dave and other people telling me how he was a stud and an asset. I'm sorry, homie. I couldn't start him in my playoffs because he caused me not to make my playoffs. And that's just another situation where these tight ends go up and down. How can I heavily invest in somebody who is just so inconsistent? So again, Sam Laporta, we have him 3rd, but are you taking this guy with confidence moving forward in your dynasty leagues? Because I just can't do it anymore.
If he falls to me and I have no other person to pick in that spot, okay, I'll go Laporta. I have George Kittle at 3. I know George Kittle is older. George Kittle has gotten hurt, but when George Kittle plays, I mean, he is a guaranteed a lot of points for 15 games a season, 14, 15 games a season. And he will win you weeks. So that's why I still have George Kittle up there. He's still playing on an offense that, I'm sorry, Sean, I know you're listening, doesn't really have a wide receiver option outside of Brandon Ayuk, and he's hurt.
Ooh.
So, and I mean, they've got Christian McCaffrey also, but they need George Kittle there. So I've got him a little bit higher than Sam Laporta. But yeah, Sam Laporta, like we said, is very touchdown dependent to get his points. When we're thinking about the Lions offense, we're not thinking about Sam Laporta for touchdowns. We're thinking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams. Like, we're thinking about the other 4 players that play on that offense. Then we have Sam Laporta, which is a problem once you get to the red zone. When your tight end's not getting targeted like that, they're going to the running backs because they can get the ball in.
I want to say this. Yes, FF Commish, with the retirement of Ragnow, does it make Laporta a bigger target, or will this make Gibbs an even greater? Listen, I think it's Gibbs. Laporta, to me, I was looking, I'm like, well, where does targets come from? Do they go in the red zone? No, he doesn't get that targeted much in the red zone. He's kind of like average. But is he even the top 3 target for them in the red zone? Is he? Amon-Ra is number 1, probably. You got to think Gibbs is number 2. Montgomery is easily up there in the top 3. I don't care if one guy retires or not. You still go with your dog, and that's David Montgomery. David Montgomery was relevant because he has a nose for the end zone, and he could score rushing touchdowns. I remember on the show too, not this show, but OUS branded 2 years ago. I was telling people, no, Montgomery's the running back 1 there. Gibbs is just a secondary player. Now that's kind of flopped, right? Now Gibbs has become such a monster. He's undeniable. But no, I'm still not going to priority Laporta over those 2 running backs and even Amon-Ra in the red zone, because that's just how their offense flows. They did get a new offensive coordinator, so that's something different. John Morton, he's been in the NFL since 1997. He was the Denver Broncos passing coordinator, offensive coordinator for the passing. So I guess they are going to focus more on the receiving aspect of the game. So that might be a little bit of hit to Montgomery and Gibbs. I don't know, man.
You said you don't know the red zone stats. I do. Sam Laporta had 19 targets last year in the red zone. He only had 11 receptions. He did have 5 touchdowns, so that's impressive. Jahmyr Gibbs, and that ranks as tight end 7 in the red zone. Jahmyr Gibbs is running back 5 in the red zone. Montgomery was running back 6. They both had 49 attempts, 141 to 161 yards, and combined they had 22 rushing touchdowns and then Gibbs had another 2 reception touchdowns. They totaled for 15 targets and 12 receptions in the red zone. So
Yes.
when we're looking at the red zone, I'm thinking again, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Even Gibbs had 12 targets in the red zone last year. I'm not necessarily thinking about Laporta.
Yeah. It's just because of the offense and how they run it. Now it could be totally changed if Laporta. That's the beautiful thing about Dynasty. He's only 24 years old, so we have years and years and years, and offenses can change and he can move on. So we're talking like this is kind of redraft at this point, but it's really not. Obviously, this is Dynasty ranking, so that's why I have him at 3rd. I love Kittle. I have Kittle at 5. I have T.J. Hawkinson at 4. It's just I like he's just younger, and I know I'm gonna get comments about, well, Josh only likes the young guys. No, in reality, it's just picking nits. Laporta, I mean, for redraft, Kittle would be way higher than Laporta, but in Dynasty, I still got to stick. If a tight end shows me something at some point in his career, he's gonna get that top 12 rub, and Laporta showed me a lot, so he's gonna get that top 5 rub. But he's very expensive. Very expensive. You know what's funny about Laporta? Very expensive to obtain, but nobody wants to buy him. I can't get rid of him. He's kind of like Anthony Richardson at this point. Cannot get rid of him. Just
Well, like
stuck
you
on
said,
your
I
team.
mean, in Dynasty, like tight ends aren't as valued. So I feel like if you need a tight end, you can just wait till the draft and get a tight end in the draft if you're picking late anyway. So, or you just wait for somebody to finally be tired of letting them die on their roster, and then you get them really cheap. So,
like a Jonnu Smith last year. I mean, he just blankly saved your team. No matter who redraft or dynasty, Jonnu Smith saved your team, and we have him ranked in the low 15s. Or we have 15 low 15s in the 15s because of his age, his situation. Is he going to duplicate that? We don't know. He's been around the league for a long time. That was by far one of his best seasons of all time. So it's hard to rank
all I
these
know
DBs. They're just streaky.
is if the rumors are true and if he makes his way to Pittsburgh, baby, he's a top 10 tight end in my books.
With Rodgers, yeah, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun to see. I think it'd be very fun to see. Next guys on our list, we spoke about Kittle a little bit. T.J. Hawkinson has a new situation, new quarterback coming in. Hawkinson has been a stud for so long, and I feel like the disrespect has gone on a little bit too long. He is dominant. He is one of these guys that can take over a game with Justin Jefferson, with Jordan Addison. But I think that's the problem. There's too many weapons in Minnesota. So Hawkinson may take the back seat, but I don't think so. I have Hawkinson 4 above George Kittle, and you have Hawkinson 8. Why do you hate TJ Hawkinson?
I feel like we had this exact same conversation maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago about Hawkinson specifically. He did come off that injury last year. I think this was last year because he was injured going into the season. He played 10 games. He had 2 really big games against Jacksonville and Chicago, but didn't play great for the rest of the season. I mean, he scored total 28 points against Chicago in 2 games, 15 against Jacksonville, 11 against Green Bay, and the rest of them were single-digit games. Again, coming out from a new injury, playing with Sam Darnold. So now we're going on to another quarterback. You still have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So there's a lot of targets going those ways as well. I'm shying away from TJ Hawkinson. I know he's only 27 years old. That's still very young, all things considered, when you have tight ends going until they're 33, 34 years old, still producing. I'm being cautious about him. Again, he's still a tight end 1 in my book. You're still starting him if you draft him or acquire him, but he's not going to be on the top of my list of players to go get because of the opportunities that he has in Minnesota.
No, I 100% agree with it. I can easily see TJ. I just moved TJ Hawkinson in a league actually for Chris Olave, and it's a tight end premium league, and I'm okay with it. Actually, I posted this trade in our Discord about a month ago, and it's been sitting there for so long, so I just finally hit accept. And Dave, it was Dirtbag Dave, he texted me, he's like, man, I regret that trade. I'm like, yeah, I know you do, buddy. I know you do, but it's okay. Colson, Loveland, Tyler Warren. I feel like we've talked about these players ad nauseum. I am by far the lowest on both. So everyone in the chat telling me that I only like young players. I have Loveland at 12 and Tyler Warren at 10. And it's kind of a prove it deal to me. I need to see something. I don't think Loveland's going to do jack squat this year. I expect 0. I expect no production out of him at all. Only because we've only had this tight end situation where they're expected to come in and blow up for the past 5 years or so. And it's kind of like copycat. Oh, Kyle Pitts did it. Oh, Laporta did it. Oh, McBride did it. Is Loveland going to do it? Is Warren going to do it? I don't see a situation. I think Loveland has a better chance to do it because he's with the quarterback that needs the help. He's with the quarterback that needs the cushion, who needs the safety valve. I don't know if I think Caleb Williams is a phenomenal talent. I don't think he's going to need it. I think he already has stuff with Odunze.
So you think Tyler Warren could do it? You said you think Colson Loveland could do it.
My bad.
Just over here, correct it. Today's corrections are brought to you by
Stat Boy Justin Bauerle, the boss Justin Bauerle, the producer Justin Bauerle, the face of the network Justin Bauerle. I'm just here.
Josh hates that sound effect.
I really do hate that sound effect. Can we get a real one? I would be down for a real applause.
That is a real applause.
No, those are just fake people. I want real people.
That is real.
So you think so? Well, yeah, someone in the studio, like, woo! All right,
I made that. What are you talking about? Anyways, it's Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland. You have them 12 and 10. I have them at 6 and 5. Everybody else has got him right around that. I mean, the lowest we've got is Tyler Warren at 15. But that was over a month ago, and then the highest we have a player would be 5. And that's Warren or Loveland, depending on which ranking you're looking at. So they're kind of a little bit all over the place, but in that mid to low tight end 1 position still.
Right. I want to skip over Tucker Kraft. He's, to me, I have him at 6, so maybe we shouldn't, but I think we all have him in the same range. I'm the highest on him. I just think he's a phenomenal talent that needs to break away from the rest of the pack over there in Green Bay. I feel like Green Bay has a lot of good players, but no one really truly elite. When you talk about Jaden Reed, we talk about, Christian Watson's just dead. He's a nobody. Romeo Dobbs is just average. Tucker Kraft has really stood out to me in that offense, and I really wish they got him more involved. I think he only had 70 targets last year is what I wrote down. That's not enough to be an elite tight end. To get to that 6 range where I want him to be, he needs to get a little about 80 to 85 targets, and I think he can get it this year. So I'm really interested in him. We all have him in the same range. That's not that big of a deal. This next guy, though, David Njoku, we have at 9. I don't know what to think about David Njoku. I feel like we've been talking about him for 15 years. How is he still playing in the NFL? You like Njoku?
He's good. I mean,
you love Njoku.
The only thing that sucks about David Njoku right now is it's very worrisome about who's his quarterback going to be. He is 28 years old, so if you were talking about him for 15 years, he'd have been 13 in the NFL, which would make him an elite prospect in the NFL. But looking at him, I'm just looking back at his season. He was a little banged up last year, which that whole Browns team was banged up last year. But when he was playing, he was scoring a lot. I mean, we talked about TJ Hawkinson doing well, but he only really did well against 2 teams. He had double digits against 3 teams total. Njoku had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his 11 games were in double digits. 3 of those were 19 plus points. All of them were above 15. And I forgot that 10-pointer at the beginning of the season, so that's another one. He's just a very good tight end. I mean, that's the weird thing about him is he's just very good. I'm just worried about who's his quarterback going to be this year. Is it going to be Shador? Is it going to be Dylan Gabriel? Is it going to be Kenny Pickett? Joe Flacco? I'm coming from Indianapolis. I'm finally glad there's another city out there that is in more quarterback turmoil than Indianapolis is.
Brother, the Browns have been in quarterback turmoil. That could be their name. That could be their mission statement.
I know. And
That's who they
The Colts
are.
getting close. I mean, the Colts are truthfully getting close. Since Peyton Manning, they have had a billion quarterbacks. It seems like not as many as the Browns, but they've had a billion quarterbacks starting.
Yeah, I like Njoku. Who's going to be involved in the offense. He had 97 targets last year on 10 games, 11 games total played. Now, granted, when Jameis was there, that offense felt a lot better. It looked a lot better. So we'll see what the quarterback situation is like. Are they going to be able to even move the ball down the field? Is it going to be just a run, run, run? You know, people want to discount Jerome Ford and all, and that's cute to discount this guy, but he is still there. And they have said
Here's the thing. We talk about, or I talked about how who Brock Bowers is the Mark Andrews of the AFC or of the Las Vegas Raiders. David Njoku is the Mark Andrews of the Cleveland Browns. Who is at wide receiver? Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Judy's only had a good season when he had Jameis Winston throwing him the ball. That's not happening this year. You got old man Flacco who can only throw maybe 5 to 10 yards, which is David Njoku's sweet spot. We saw what happened last time Flacco played with Njoku. Njoku was tight end 6. I'm not saying Flacco's starting all year because he's not. He'll get 1 or 2 games, but rookies' best friends are tight ends.
Yes, they are. This next guy on our list, Mark Andrews, he was dead last year, and then he came back from life to dead. Like he came back. So it was so mad. I think we buried him.
We did.
We on our Tuesday shows, which is waivers, we do bury people, as in they're just dead. And we buried this man like in week 2, week 3. I forgot what it was.
I think it was 4 because he had a 3-point, a 9-point, and then 2 0-point games.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like he's like, you know what, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be decent again. He finished the year with 11 total touchdowns last year, which that's his career high. After we buried him, he had a career high touchdowns, which was awesome. His yardage was up there around 600, I think, 650, 675. So he had a decent tight end year. He's still the number 1 target there, whether you like him or hate him. He's only 30 years old. For tight ends, that's kind of like whatever. Jason Witten played till he was about 55 at this point. So I don't know, man. I just have him at 7 because he's old, reliable. There's reports out there. We want to get Isaiah Likely the ball. We want to make sure Isaiah Likely has a great season. Listen, pal, if you didn't sell Isaiah Likely on week 1 last year, I don't know what you were doing. You must have been sleeping. But stop trying to make Isaiah Likely a thing. I don't think it's going to happen. So that's why I have Mark Andrews there for just a couple more seasons. I think he could put up solid numbers. He's not someone I'm acquiring in dynasty drafts. Like I'm not going to draft him in a startup, but I'll definitely go trade for him if I have a winnable team, if I have a playoff team.
I agree.
You agree?
The option. I mean, he is the same argument for Brock Bowers and David Njoku. He is the option there. There's nobody else that's going to catch balls from Lamar Jackson. Oh, Zay Flowers maybe, but no. I mean, he had after we buried him, he only had 2 games where he did not score a touchdown last year, and in those are the only 2 games that he had single digit points.
I want to skip over Dalton Kincaid, and I want to skip over Travis Kelce. I don't think there's much we could talk about with Travis Kelce anymore. We know who he's going to be. We don't need to say anything else. Dalton Kincaid is more of a question mark, and I'll be honest with you. I'm just tired of talking about him. I'm tired of talking about this is the year. I'm tired of talking about he's going to break out. I'm tired of talking about how he's the number 1 target for Josh Allen. I'm just tired of talking about it. Mm-hmm. So until further notice, he's going to be a low end tight end 1 just because the tight ends are all trash. But I do want to talk about Evan Ingram because Evan Ingram was a superstar. When he left New York, when he left the Giants, he became something we all wanted him to become, which was a tight end, top 5 tight end with Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last year, oh boy, did things take a turn. He fell off the face of the planet. I remember people were dropping him in leagues last year, and I was on this platform telling everyone, scoop him up, scoop him up. He's the only solid, reliable possession tight end, obviously, in Jacksonville, and he's awesome. Well, he wasn't awesome. I have him tight end 16. I've given up on him. He's in Denver now. I don't know if things are going to change over there in Denver. I don't know if it's going to be a bump up in Denver. Denver hasn't had a relevant tight end since Shannon Sharp. I just don't know what to think. about Denver. I don't know what to think about that offense. I don't know what to think about Cortland Sutton. I don't know what to think about Bo Nix. Like, I don't like the Denver Broncos whatsoever. Nothing about them screams, I can't wait to see Estamine run the ball. I can't wait to see AARP holder RJ Harvey, rookie, hold the ball. Nothing screams fun in Denver to me. Nothing. I'll say you.
You know how much I love Evan Ingram. I'm just looking at his team. We had Cortland Sutton, who's 29 years old, who's finished wide receiver 15, which is the highest he has ever finished. As wide receiver 15. He had that 1 year as wide receiver 19 in 2019 where we were all like, oh my God, Cortland Sutton. And then like he's finished in the 40s since. Got Marvin Mims. We got Troy Franklin.
People like him.
And
People
then
like
we
Marvin
have,
Mims.
okay, so wide receiver 89 and 57 without missing ever missing a game. He's wide receiver 89 and 57, 7 total touchdowns over 30, a lot of games, 30 whatever games, 33 games, I think. And then we have Troy Franklin, who was a rookie last year, played in 16 games, wide receiver 98. He had 2 touchdowns. So nothing in their wide receiver room is screaming, Justin Jefferson, I'm taking the ball away from TJ Hawkinson. Like, I'm going to dominate. Now we look at the running game. We have RJ Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime. But now we have quarterback Bo Nix, who finishes QB7. You can't finish as QB7 without giving the ball to somebody. And Evan Ingram, just like in Jacksonville, we kept saying Evan Ingram is the best wide receiver Trevor Lawrence has until they got Brian Thomas. Maybe that's actually true in Denver. Maybe he is the best receiving option in Denver now for a quarterback that is going to light it up.
We think he's going to light it up. Again,
he could have a sophomore. By sophomore slump, I mean like a 5th year quarterback slump because he's like 30 already.
Look, here's the deal with Evan Ingram. This whole Denver Broncos offense, to me, it's the most unsexy offense there is. But that might make it sexy, right? Like, there's nothing. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I'm gonna censor myself. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna good old Tony Reale, hit the mute button on myself and rewind. When the Broncos are so not sexy, that's what makes them sexy. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. They could all mesh together. They could all buy into this Sean Payton offense. They could all buy in and be awesome again. Bo Nix was a special talent last year. We didn't expect that. Will there be some kind of decline? I would say yes, because there has to be. CJ Stroud went from the best quarterback in the world to finishing below Aaron Rodgers last year in fantasy football. It's fact. It happened. But Rodgers is washed. But here's the thing. With everything you said about Evan Ingram is 1,000% true. Who else scares you? So it could be a situation where Ingram is the last man standing, or it could be a situation where there's so many different targets, everyone just mediocres and everyone just falls down to the mean. And that's what I expect is going to happen. Who's their running back again? Etienne? ST? People are excited for this guy for some reason. People are so hyped for this guy. Marvin Mims, go log on social media. Everyone's all into guys, it ain't going to happen. I was watching one of your 24-hour stream. I forgot who the guests were, but you guys had this huge discussion of like, remember him? And they named like Laviska Shenault, Ronald Jones, like all the busts that I've been telling y'all for years they were busts. Guys, I'm telling you, Marvin Mims has made that list of like social media darlings. He ain't ever going to be a thing. That's all. Trust me. I know things. I don't know things. Do you want to hit up any other tight ends before we get out of here? Because let's be honest. Who else on this list is worth keeping an eye on? I know Jonnu Smith finished so high last year, but
you don't want to talk about Kyle Pitts?
Do we have to? Like, can we just run back the audio of Adam Rank? Do we really have to talk about Kyle Pitts?
I saw a very interesting stat yesterday, which just means that if you keep holding on, he will be great for you. In year 1, he scored 1 touchdown. Year 2, he scored 2 touchdowns. Year 3, he scored 3 touchdowns. Year 4, he scored 4 touchdowns. You know what that means in 2031? 11 touchdowns. Let's go.
This year he's going
to hold on to him for another 6 more years, and you'll get 11 touchdowns from Kyle Pitts. in a single
No.
season.
Isn't it weird that his best season ever was Desmond Ritter? Like that was his quarterback. 1,000 yards with Desmond Ritter. Was it only Desmond Ritter? Someone else had to come in. Someone had to have come in with Kyle Pitts that year. It probably wasn't even Desmond Ritter. Someone in the chat's going to tell me.
It was not Desmond Ritter. I think that was Matt Ryan, wasn't it?
There's no way. Matt Ryan was not in the league. Because Matt Ryan was the Colts guy. He retired
in 2021. Matt Ryan was the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
No way. No way.
He had 3,968 yards and 12 touchdowns. No, I'm sorry, 20 touchdowns. 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Matt Ryan finished as QB 20 that year.
Then he went to the Colts and then sucked it up.
And then he went to the Colts and was garbage.
Good night, man.
Still finished as QB 27.
Don't blink, guys, because the first thing you see is Matt Ryan throwing touchdowns, and then you blink, and then all of a sudden he's in the Colts. Just like with Phillip Rivers and like everyone else. Joe Flacco, who else? Carson Wentz. Although Carson Wentz was pretty good with Indianapolis. You guys gave him a bad rap. Go look at his numbers. They weren't as bad as y'all think. Y'all ran Carson Wentz out of town.
Did fumble away 3 straight games where all you had to do is win 1 of 3 games and you'd make the playoffs. And he fumbled all 3 away.
He was trying to tank, get a better player in the draft.
How do you tank being 1 game away from the playoffs? It makes it worse. Yeah. Either you get in the playoffs or you suck.
Non-fantasy related.
Finish in the middle.
Non-fantasy related. Now that because you're a massive Pacers fan,
yeah.
Would you rather see your team just make the playoffs and lose every year in the first round, or just never make the playoffs? What's a better life?
I would rather see my team never make the playoffs.
So Carson Wentz was just helping you out because you guys weren't winning the Super Bowl that year anyway.
That's fair. I guess it was a better pick by like 2.
See? You see what I mean?
Yeah,
see what I mean? He was just helping you out. He was like, hey guys, hey GM, I'm gonna help us get a better player.
See, but here's the difference, because you mentioned the Pacers about the NBA and NFL, is that if you barely make miss the playoffs, you get like pick 16. Whereas in the NBA, if you don't make the playoffs, you get in the lottery and you might be the Mavericks and get the number 1 overall pick.
That's why the NBA is trash. Nobody watches. But we are going to close out the show because I'm just kidding. I love the NBA. It's so much fun. SGA, best player of all time. Who is that? But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here today because Justin was very rude this morning and sent me an Angel Reese video that I did not open. I will never open. I'll never open that video.
It was a good video.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
It was a good video.
If you're watching over on Pins Talk Sports, go ahead and swipe on over to FantasyNow Plus, hit that subscribe button. We also have a new channel. We have 2 new channels to plug. FantasyNow Plus Get Tilted, where all of our DFS content's going to be. Sean and Evan are going to be hosting a show over there called Get Tilted. It's also going to be streamed over here on FantasyNow Plus. So go over that channel. It's in the comments. You can see him right there. He's watching the show. So click on that link, subscribe to them, and Fins Talk Extra. This is a network that is growing over there at the Fins Talk Sports Network. We have too many shows, too many good talents. So we've created, or Bobby has created, an extra channel. So some of our content's going to be over there as well. So keep a lookout for that. Until next week, Justin, we are done. This concludes the series of rankings of tight ends and receivers and running backs and quarterbacks for dynasty reasons. We'll see you next week, guys. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.